Hey YouTube, my name's Lucky and you're watching a pickup scrim between a lot of different pro players. Now I'm sure pretty much all of you out there are familiar with what a pickup scrim is, but in case you aren't, it'll just sort of clarify it right here. As you're going to see down below, it has the Team Fear logo. However, those aren't all the people from Team Fear. Typically when teams need to scrim or feel the need to scrim, but all their teammates aren't online, they'll go through what's called pickups. And that's not any sort of like official term or anything, it's just basically what they're doing. They're just picking up players that they know really well. Typically they're usually other pro players or people on their friends list, and they just sort of insert them on their team so that way they can still scrim. So for example, you're watching, I just wrote down Team Fear because we have Assassin and John. They're actual members from Team Fear. But then you also have Twiz and Snipers. I believe his name is actually Snippers and not Snipers, but for this video I'll just call him Snippers because that's what I actually believe his name is. And so they pick up Twiz and Snippers for this match. I believe that's what they do because I'm pretty sure those guys aren't on their team. I'm pretty sure the entire full roster of Team Fear is Assassin, John, Moho, and Dito. And so I think they just picked up Twiz and Snippers for this pickup scrim. And on the other team we have Miles, Call Me Solo, Huddle, and I'm the Pwn Star. And I'm not sure what team they're on or what team most of those players are made up of, but basically they're just sort of playing together. And perhaps they are all on a team, and perhaps that isn't pickups for them. Perhaps that is their team. I don't know. I'm sure someone in the comments will leave me a message letting me know, what team they're a part of. But for right now, I don't really know, and so I'm just going to say that this is entirely a pickup scrim match. But enough with that. And onto the match itself and onto a few other things. You'll notice that I have their tags all down there below all together instead of individually. Just made it a lot easier for this video to do that instead of actually going through and making all the individual tags without team tags and with team tags, what teams they're on and stuff. And so instead for this video, because it's a pickup scrim and not a normal scrim between two teams and their full rosters, I just put all their names down below. And you should be able to find out who you're watching at the beginning, as soon as that person spawns in and I start watching them, you'll see their tag right above the either blue or black sign. And this is a really interesting match. One player in particular ends up doing phenomenally well at the end. I only show that particular player's view here and there. I sort of switch between both teams throughout the entire match. But one player comes out in the end with a really great score. But other than that, there was a particular reason why I chose a pickup scrim, something I want to talk about, and that is that I'm receiving a lot of messages of people who are saying things like, they really want to get involved in the pro circuit, they want to become, professional gamers, etc., things like that. And a lot of times I don't respond to these messages just because I receive so many, but right now I'm going to respond to it in this video, and I think it's something that a lot of people out there are really interested. I actually have some really new stuff, something that I've never actually shared with you guys before, I guess. Stuff that will actually really be helpful if you do want to become, either a pro gamer in Call of Duty, in Black Ops, or in Modern Warfare 3, which is coming up, and things like that. If you want to get involved in it, and the best way to sort of get involved in it. And so a lot of people end up thinking that, oh, well, I want to become a pro gamer, so I need to, get my GB rank up really high, because a lot of pro gamers do have high GB ranks and things like that, but that obviously isn't a factor anymore. As a lot of you have noticed, there's a new ranking system. They've got GB rank and they've got MLG rank, and so that sort of eliminates GB rank. And I guess if your MLG rank was really high, I guess that could make you look better, but really that's not what I'm here to talk about. What I'm here to talk about is getting involved in these pickup scrims like you're watching right now, getting involved in these pickup scrims yourself. A lot of these pro players have their own Twitter accounts in which they post, comments saying, hey, if anyone wants to join, I'm doing a pickup scrim right now with my team, and you can join my team, and you can play with us in these scrims. And that's actually what I would say is probably the best way to get involved in the pro circuit, to get involved with playing with pro players on a regular basis. Because if you were to catch one of these tweets that one of these pro players have, and all these pro players have Twitter accounts, you can easily find them. They're all usually following each other and stuff like that. And so a really great way to get to know the pro players, get to have pro players on your friends list and things like that, which could then lead to them wanting you on their team, would be to just follow them on Twitter. and wait to see when they post a message or a tweet, saying, hey, we're looking for some people for pickups, or maybe they're looking for some people to scrim against and things like that. And so it would be a great opportunity for you to be able to get contact with pro players. It would build up your reputation. If you were to say you joined, a few pro players and play with them and you scrim with them and do really well, it could build up a reputation for yourself, like, hey, this guy is really good, you communicate well and stuff like that. And so I think that actually opens up really great opportunities. And all these pro players have Twitter accounts, and they're always definitely posting a lot of things like this. I don't know that they all do it every day, but there's a lot of pro gamers out there, so if you were to follow them all on Twitter, I imagine you could probably set up for yourself a pretty regular schedule of getting to scrim with and or against pro gamers. And so that's something I wanted to throw out there, because a lot of people have been sending me messages like that, and I haven't replied to a lot of them, and I guess I kind of felt bad about it, and so now I'm replying to it in this video. And so just to summarize that real briefly, want to get involved in the pro circuit, you can just follow all these pro players on Twitter. You get a chance to play with them, get a chance to know them, they get a chance to know you, to play with you and see how good you are, and it could really be beneficial for you. It definitely couldn't hurt you. I mean, there's no way at all that it could possibly hurt you to do that, and so why not, go for it if that's what you really want to do. So anyways, enough with that. Alright, now the next thing I want to mention is that as I'm recording this video, the next MLG event, Anaheim, is in about a week away from now, and it's going to be a really interesting event. It's going to be the third event, and so you're going to see a lot of teams that have really solidified themselves. You're also going to see some new team roster changes. One of the most significant of all the team roster changes is going to be team leverage. There's been a lot of talk, a lot of speculation about them changing their team roster, and it definitely seems like that. I don't know for 100%. I've looked at their YouTube page, I've looked at Ake's page, Ake's Game Battle page. I've also looked at their Justin.tv, tried to find videos of it on Justin.tv. I don't know what their new roster is, team leverage, but definitely it's changing. Why exactly, I'm not sure. They finished first at Dallas, and then they went to Columbus and they finished fourth, which is still a really great finish, but I guess it's not quite as good as they're used to. They're pretty much used to getting first in everything. And so they're having a few team roster changes, which, as I've mentioned to you guys before, I think is probably the worst aspect to competitive gaming, especially with competitive Call of Duty, is just roster changes and teams changing all the time. It's really unfortunate, if a team does bad in just one tournament or in one event, suddenly they need to change all their different members. They need to get rid of everyone, and it sort of it seems counterproductive. Instead of working with teammates and trying to get better, it's just, let's just kick them all off. Let's kick off the people we think are bad and try and put on better people, which I think is probably the most unfortunate, as I've mentioned before, is probably the most unfortunate aspect about competitive gaming. But it's something that is there. It's not just in Call of Duty. It happens in Halo a lot. You'll see a lot of professional Halo gamers switch their rosters over and over again. Right there you saw an excellent return. Aside from that topic, you saw an excellent return by Huddle. I went back in time here because I wanted to show it. Basically, he gets into the enemy spawn at about 2 minutes, and what he's doing right here is a tactic that I never really saw before Black Ops in competitive gaming, in competitive capture the flag especially, but it's something I definitely have seen a lot in Black Ops now. Basically, you sit in the enemy's base and you wait for a few of the enemies to go down, and then you take their flag. But right here, he's waiting to get the return, and he's on a suicide mission, and he knows it. And so what he does right there is he just shoots the guy with the flag, and then dolphin dives for the return, and does a very excellent job of getting that return and sort of solidifying his team the win at that point. It is definitely possible for the Team Fear with pickups to get the win in the scrim, but for the most part, it would be really, really difficult at this point. It would take a lot of foolish mistakes on the other team. And so because of that factor, I think that's why Snippers decided to pull out the MP5 and just start to spray that around for the last minute or so. The last thing I want to mention in this video is that a lot of people keep on asking me for more and more videos, and I definitely do plan on still continuing to make competitive videos. But one thing that I kind of wanted to mention is that it seems kind of like the competitive gaming thing it's been out for a long time now, and it seems kind of like a lot of the videos are repetitive, and I definitely don't want it to be that way. I don't want it to be like, I know what this next video is going to be like. It's going to be, just like any other video. I've pretty much posted, every different game mode on every different map, tons and tons of times, and so there's kind of nothing really new going on a whole lot, and so I sort of save my videos for when I have something really interesting. For example, in this video, you see that Call Me Solo gets a 32 kills and 17 deaths, which is a pretty amazing score. It's not very often that you see people get, let alone into the 30s, but a 32, which is a little bit higher, and so it's pretty impressive on his part, and I did excellent, and I'm definitely going to give him the MVP for this scrim. And with that being said, my name is Lucky. Thanks for watching. Later.